transformation from one thing to another thing. We come down from humid and hard weather, hot weather. There the colors are dark. Wherever there is hot weather, you find the people dark, and the humid weather, they change the colors, skins. But when we come to these areas, automatically our colors, people go to Pakistan, oh, you have tan there, the color have become dark, that's because of the weather conditions. But the weather conditions, what it can do is, that can change our outlook, skin colors, hairstyles, and all these, they can change, but not like in the cold weather, when it's winter. You comb your hair inside. When you come out, they'll be a bit hard. You feel them that they are getting more harder. In the summer, they are a bit soft, the hair. Similarly, the weather has got impact on our hair, on our color skin, and our eyes also. The areas which have got too much sunshine, automatically our eyes get closed there, We have to open. And wherever there's less sunshine, people have got broader and bigger eyes. And then that become a permanent event after generations. After 500, 600, 700 years, when people are living in an area, their features, they start resembling each other. And the race mixing up, that also, because previously the races didn't mix up. Like the black people from Africa, they were one race. And the white from European communities, they were another race. Like Chinese, they were different. But they were living among their own communities. Now these races are mixing up. The world is becoming an omelette. You know what is an omelette? Yes, where you mix up anda and you put, what have you, spice and what? Onions and? Anything else? Add two more things. Add a bit of lemon juice, add a bit of cheese into it, mix it, and then fry it. You'll get a wonderful omelette.
Lemon juice is a good one.
You have tried lemon juice?
I haven't tried it. That
you haven't tried lemon juice? Have you tried cheese in it?
I have it with cheese all the time.
You have with cheese?
Yeah.
In omelette?
Yeah.
In omelette?
Yeah, I have cheese.
Yeah, you know that.
Don't try it.
Try it, and you will lose weight.
Big time. Big time.
Anyhow, so the world is becoming an omelette. Cheese, anda, onions, spices, everything getting mixed up. The world is mixing up. But in the same evolution, you can't say that, a race of the human being, they had a tail now, or they can hold things with their feet like the monkeys can. We can't do that. Just the facial resemblance, we start calling that, oh, they are monkeys, because they resemble the mankind. There are some goats who resemble some of the human beings. No, that's not the case. Human being is a different species. How can we resemble? See, the blood group of mankind, of a human being, is not compatible with the monkey's blood.
Good point there.
Milk of human is not compatible with the milk of monkey. You give the monkey's milk to a human baby, what will happen? Get ill and gone. Okay? And similarly, our digestive system is not the same as that the monkey's digestive system. And the human parts, you will be surprised to listen that the pig's parts are more compatible to the human parts than any other animal. Do you know that? Why is it so? In Quran, it is said that there was a race of the human beings who were turned into pigs and monkeys. It's not that we became human beings from animals. The animals, they are the deformed, some of the animals are a deformed shape of human being. And that's why we say that a pig, don't eat pig. Why? Because they're deformed shape of the human beings, and deformed shape of human being means we are eating the meat of other human beings, which are not compatible with us. There are too many other reasons, but one of the reasons can be the same one what I told you. So, with evolution, we can't say that the monkeys, human being can't hold anything with his feet like the monkey can. Otherwise, pickpockets, jeb kutron ki yashi ho jati, They would have been picking up pockets with hands and with their feet, No, my hands are here, so my feet are here. How can they say that I've done that? So, there are too many other things. Why is there a resemblance? I'm just going through it because we have discussed that previously also. Just a reminder that we remember these things, because Darwin is everywhere in our schools, in our college, in our institutions. Slowly they are giving us the dose of Darwin. They start giving us indirect teachings, and after that they come into our mind. Other students, when they cross the GCSEs, they come across it and they are already mentally prepared to accept what Darwin said. So we need to understand why we can't accept Darwin. Because it's illogical, irrational, and not unreal things what he's telling us. Just because our face is resembling animals, like monkeys, like chimpanzees, so they're saying, oh, they are thinking like us, they are like us. Why do they resemble? There's a very good example given by Karati from Iran. Very good example that if you ask an artist to draw paint a mountain, paint a sea, paint a tree, paint a horse, paint a man, and then you mix up those paintings with other paintings, and if you bring in someone, a fine teacher of arts and paintings, he will be able to tell you that these paintings, they belong to one artist. Just by looking into the selection of colors, the strokes of the colors and the brush that he has used, he'll be able to go into it and he can find out that these paintings are the same. Although the paintings are of different things, like mountain, trees, sea, animals, and human beings, and any other things, but even then, because the creator is the same, you will see a resemblance in those paintings. Similarly, our creator is the same. He can't create anything unbalanced, like the two eyes. What are two eyes good for? Why didn't Allah give us one eye, like we see one of the cartoons having one eye there? And what is that cartoon called?
Cyclops.
Yeah, it has got one eye.
One eye.
See? I watch those cartoons. So what are these two eyes good for? We see cameras. Have you seen a camera with two eyes? It's difficult to focus. Two eyes. Two lenses should be identical to give us one picture, But our eyes, see, even if the eyesight is different of both eyes, we can make one picture which is well focused in our mind, Two eyes, when I'm watching like this, the distance between the two things, and the focusing and the calculation is done, and it tells us the distance of that thing between me and that thing. Like the width, like the tallness, like the colors and everything, it's two eyes, they check it and make the real thing in the background. Even if one eye's eyesight is weak, the other one is good, I'll be able to draw the right picture in my mind. 2 ears. What does a 2 ear do? 1 ear could have been here in our forehead, and I could have been listening like a radar or something like that, or turning that up and down. Why 2 ears? It tells us where the sound is coming from. 1 ear won't have been able to tell us where the sound is coming from. It's a comparison of the sounds coming to the 2 ears. They're compared, and then the direction is given, or they're coming from. Like the wireless. If there's a wireless signal from somewhere, what they do? They put two antennas, and then they see which antenna is picking up the stronger signal and which one is the weaker. With that, they calculate the distance, and where they make the cross, they come to understand, oh, it's here. 2 lines. Similarly, the ears, 2 ears, are a blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. 4 fingers, if there would have been another finger like the same one, like 5th one, we won't have been able to hold things. It's a calculated thing, And then this gap, if this gap would have been the same here, we won't have been able to hold things like we are. If you just cut off this thumb from other things, we can't control the things as we can. Like driving, like other things, there are hundreds of things that we can do because of this thumb. So all this can't come into existence on its own, It can't be by chance. I promised about a movie when I was having lectures here. the baby, when the baby is born, whole of that process. I forgot that. If somebody would text me, I can find that out now, but even when we finish, let me know, and I'll let you have that link. Next time we come, we can have a display here and we can see that. You know, what is the process of a sperm, a germ? It's just like a germ, you know, sperm, and it's turning, and the process it's going through and becoming a baby and then coming to this world. Just see this, that amazing process of a small bacteria, small germ, turning into a human being with his eyes, with his ears, with his nose, with his mouth, with his hands and fingers. And you know the fingers are produced like this, and then the fingers are distributed. There's nothing to put a gap between them. You know, if you are constructing a wall and you want to put a gap, you need to put something in between there to create a gap. There's nothing to create that gap. Then the features are like father, like mother, or mixed up. Although you can't say that, oh, I'm taking one part of a Vauxhall, another one of a BMW. Our marriages are like the same, you know. A BMW, or I would say that Mercedes and BMW, and the eyes like Mercedes. For example, we consider the father to be the Mercedes and the mother to be like a BMW. Eyes of Mercedes, ears of a BMW, lips of a Mercedes, teeth of a BMW, and then all these things. Would you think that will form a good car? But what Allah does, the baby which is formed, it has got features of the father, features of the mother, but the beauty is still there, the balance is still there. How can a balance be created without one who creates the balance? Without a balancing force. So there's no way out. It's illogical and irrational saying that there was a Big Bang. Yes, there. Who created that Big Bang? Newton's third law of motion, a thing static will remain static and thing moving will keep on moving in absence of a net force. Whether it's moving physically, or it's moving spiritually, or it's moving mentally, in any form. Anything moving. Current moving needs something to move that current. Electrons moving, something needs them to move them. Atoms moving, something is needed to move that. We moving, we ourselves, from a sperm to a human shape, from a human baby into a grown-up man, from man again back to an old age, there must be some force which is moving us. Newton's law tells us, and this is a law, it's not something, assumption sort of a thing. It's not a theory. What's the difference between theory and law?
Theory doesn't have to be real, but a law is.
Law is the one, theory is presented by anyone can present theories. But when you experiment, do experiment on the theories, and the theory is proved to be the real fact, you say that it's a law of science, in the language of science, not in the law of constitutional law and other laws, about science. So the scientific law, a thing static will remain static. A thing in movement will keep on moving in absence of a net force. How do you say that? This law in itself, a thing moving. How can, if the thing is static, you have got static things and you have got moving things, where did that motion come from? There are organic things and inorganic, living things and dead things. Where did this life come from? Life can't come without a living creator. Life can't come without a living thing. Stone can't become a horse, or a man, or a fish, or a bacteria. No, stone is a dead thing. It will remain like that. You want to turn it into a living thing, need to get life from somewhere. A baby is born from a living father and a living mother. A horse is born, or a calf is born from a cow and a bull. They are living things. So you go back and back and back and back. Where did the life come from? You need to suppose that there was someone who is living forever and will be living forever. And that's the one we call Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who gave us life. who gave organization to the universe. Everything is organized in the universe. We make our own organization, but the universe is also organized in itself. You know, I used to give an example. Take pebbles in your hand, throw them 1,000,000 times. They will never form a definite shape. But you see, everything is organized in the sky. See the stars, see the movement of Earth, see the balance of the solar system, you know. Two forces, centripetal and centrifugal. Which one is the centripetal force? When you're turning something, the force that's coming inside, you're pulling inside, is centripetal, and centrifugal is the one which is pulling that stone or anything tied to a cord outside. You know, you can't turn a stone in a circle without tying them to a cord. Why is Earth moving then without being tied to the sun? How is it moving? You know, this, everything has got a force when it's moving in a circle. And every particle attracts another particle, according to the Einstein's theory. Every particle attracts another particle. So the mass, bigger the mass, the more is attraction. So there's attractive force between sun and earth. And because of that movement around the sun, there's centrifugal force which is pulling the earth outward. And both the forces are balanced in a way that earth is moving in a circle around the sun. Not only earth. It's at least 11, 12, 13 planets which are moving around the sun. Then the moon moving around the earth. Moon has got effect on life on earth, yes or no?
Yeah.
What effect has got the moon on earth? One or two effects.
Sea level.
Sea levels, high tides and low tides. You know, when every day twice the sea level rises and goes down twice every day, and that's called high tide when the sea level rises at some place, and low tide when it goes down. And every day it's coming like up and up and up and up. On the full moon night, it comes to the top level. The maximum level is achieved when the moon is full. It has got an effect on the sea levels and the cycles of the usual periods which the women go through. They are also controlled by the moon. Our seasons, they have also got the effect of the moon in the full moon. Lunatic people, they go mad more when the moon is full. It's not just in the movies, you know, but they have got effect on our mind, you know. Yeah. So all these things, they are affected. So moon moving around the earth, earth moving around the sun, and our sun moving in our galaxy. And the galaxy is moving too. And with such a delicate manner that they don't. You see the black spots on the moon? Where they come from? Why are there black spots on the moon? Yeah? You know, anybody knows? Yeah, you can give an answer even if it's wrong, don't worry, yeah? You don't know. The black spots on the moon, where do they come from? From the craters which have been created by huge rocks and mountains which came down and strike the face of the moon. There are big, what we can say, rocks and mountains moving in the sky, in the atmosphere. Just now an asteroid, it crossed the earth. It was about 55,000 or some miles, or 5,000 miles, and they said it's getting close to earth. Why they were saying it was close? Because it would have been closer, the earth's gravity would have pulled it towards itself and might have crashed into earth. So why don't they hit earth? Have you seen the shooting stars?
Yes.
Yeah? What are these shooting stars? These are these asteroids. When they come and they rub against the air level, there is a core of air around Earth, when it comes into that, it gets so much hot that it burns away, and that's what we call the shooting star. You know, some years back, the spaceship, when it was coming back to Earth, it crashed and it burned. Why? Because of that friction with the air surface, it created so much heat that some of its tiles, they didn't work properly. There are protective tiles around the spaceship. They didn't work properly, so they went off, and because of that whole spaceship crashed, and astronomers, they died there. Who has created the system? It must be someone. It can't come into existence on its own. Chicken coming out of egg. Have you seen the process on the Facebook? No? You know, egg. Hen lays egg. Then what happens? What's the process? It provides heat to those eggs.
Sits on the egg.
Heat, yeah? It's warming up those eggs. You know, there's a season of a hen when it's laying eggs. And after that, there's a season when it hatches eggs. After the eggs are finished, 20, 15, 12, whatever the number of the hen is laying the eggs, then it brings those into a circle, sits over them for at least 16, 15 hours every day. And with the warm body, it provides heat. And with that heat, what happens? And it's turning, usually, regularly. The hen keeps on turning. We have seen that process because we were keeping hen in the farms and at our home. So we have seen that process. With its beak, it turns each of that eggs every day, once or twice or 3 times. And you push that hen, it's like our feathers are standing, and it's in an angry mode, you know, at that time when she's hatching the eggs. And you take her away from the eggs, she won't leave those eggs. For how many days? 21 days. And after 21 days, with her beak, she breaks the shell of that egg. And it doesn't break. You know, there are some which are where the chicken is formed. Chicken is formed. There are other ones where the chicken dies and it is not formed. With her beak, it doesn't break the one where the chicken is dead. It breaks only the one where the chicken is living. It breaks that, make a hole in it, so that the chicken can breathe. You know, the hen came into existence from a shell. And first time it's laying down eggs, and first time it's hatching those eggs. Who taught her what to do and what not to do? How did she learn? There is a force which is telling her. A newborn baby, you know, you put something into his mouth, it starts sucking them for feed, looking for milk. Who told that baby who can't understand signs, signals, or anything else? There is a teacher. There is a creator. There is a nourisher and provider. There is someone who has brought us and who take us. الَّذِي خَلَقَ وَسَوَّى قَدَّرَ وَفَهَدَى, who created us with calculation and then guided us to reach the point of perfection physically, spiritually, and mentally. 3 things. The science doesn't accept that we have to reach the point of perfection spiritually. Spiritual perfection, science doesn't accept. Mental perfection, they've got their own levels and they say these are the levels. Islam tells us physical perfection, spiritual perfection, and mental perfection. And these 3 ways, the rules of Islam differ because it considers man to be having these 3 qualities and has to go to the point of perfection in all 3 spheres at least. So that's why Islam needs to be followed. Western law and the man-made laws, they can tell us about our body only, not about our soul, not about where we are coming from, not about the world where we are heading to. And there must be a creator who shall be able to understand our past, present, future, our creation, our destruction, and everything. And that is the one we call Allah. And there is no option but to believe. We can't see Him, we can't taste Him, we can't touch Him, we can't with our five senses find Him. But if we suppose in maths, like there used to be question, let's suppose there is a creator, then we get answers for everything. If we don't suppose that, we won't get an answer. So let's suppose there is a creator. When we get the answers, everything is good, then that means that what we supposed was the right thing to suppose. And our link to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as I said in my previous lecture, we have, I think that's enough for today, 8:30. Yeah? وَآخِرُ دَعْوَانَا أَنِ الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. To what we discussed today, just for you to remember for the next week, we went through the Darwin's theory. The monkeys are not our ancestors. We have not been come into existence from the monkeys. Rather, the animals, some of them were punished by Allah and they were turned into animals, like the pig, like the monkeys, and too many other species. Number one. Number two, genetically we are different. Physically we are different. Our digestive system, our blood system, our other systems are different than the animals, monkeys and chimpanzees, than what we put. Our milk, human milk, is not compatible to the monkey's milk. Or monkey's milk is not compatible to the human milk, which resemble. Why is there a resemblance? Because the creator is the same. We have been created by the same creator. That's why we resemble in different things. And this organizational structure, our body, our soul, and our mind, three things. We need to concentrate. The laws of Islam concentrate on these three things. Why? How we come to know there are too many other things. The balance in our solar system, in our galaxy, and otherwise tells us that there is someone who is balancing that. The balance of the centripetal and the centrifugal forces, that balance cannot be created. The delicate balance cannot be created on its own. So Big Bang is not the reason for our life. There is a reason. Ever living Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's what Islam has told us. So the religion has got a duty to link a creation to the creator. That's what we need to find out. And the religion, there are practices, there are customs, there are ibadat, there are other things. But the real reason is to create a link between the creation and the creator. If a religion can't do that, that religion is no good for. And if Islam's rules and regulations we follow, we achieve that goal, we have achieved everything, inshallah. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. No questions?
Okay, I had a small thought. When you mentioned that, for example, we drive a car and that's supported with our hands, yeah. And a chair, for example, is supported because the way our posture is made. But all this stuff is all man-made.
Yeah.
So it's not. If for example we had four fingers in the same way, I'm sure we would have created things that are supporting our four fingers.
But the way we are doing it now, is there any other way we can? If we had two thumbs, would we have been doing it better?
Okay.
If we don't have a thumb, would we have been doing the things better? Like picking up a stone, for example, leave everything man-made. Picking up a stone and throwing it. Nobody would have been able to play cricket if there would have been no thumb. It's the best way to do that. Like nose, for example. Nose. What if the nose would have been turned upward? Just imagine. It's the perfect design for the man. The wrinkles on the forehead, what they're good for, these lines. Eyebrows, what they're good for.
Dust.
Dust doesn't come from the forehead, you know. But you go to the hot weather areas, what happens? Sweat. When you're sweating, what do? Like this. And these eyebrows, it bring the sweat to the side. It doesn't let come onto your eyes. Tears are salty. Tears are salty. Why? Why are tears salty?
Antibacterial. Get rid of any bacteria in the eyes.
You know, you take meat, put salt onto it. It won't rot. Eyes and the tears, the salt in it doesn't let the eyes rot. Keep it fresh. And this blinking of eye, within 1/3 of a second that you don't know that my eyes are blinking and I was seeing, watching and not watching, you know. It continues, that 1/3 of a second the picture remains there in front of our eyes. Is it all on its own, you know? Clouds. You boil water, becomes steam. Will it form like a cloud and move like a cloud, the whole of it? You know, a whole bunch of the cloud, it moves in the same direction, you know. It's not that, like here, if you produce 3-4 colored gases, you know, and you will say they are mixing up with each other. The clouds, they don't. Are the clouds mixing? Where's the electric current, that static current coming onto the clouds, you know? There are billions of things, you know, we come across. We are just joining two things to make a third thing, you know. We have got red chilies, we have got salt, we have got black pepper, we have got dhania, and we have got gosht, we have got oil, and we mix them up to make sometimes kadai, sometimes korma, sometimes plow, sometimes other things. And this is what we are doing, but the real ingredients are from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Just see what's there. What happens if the North Pole and South Pole, the ice melts? The least thing that will happen, UK will be underwater. Because we are already under the sea level. Who knows that we are under the sea level? Yeah? We are all under the sea level. Are we or are we not?
Island,
So what will happen if this like water comes down and the level increases?
It will disappear.
There's no place to go, yeah? Keep the Pakistani passport alive. So these are all the things that we need to understand to find out the reality of the Creator, reality of the creation. The only thing is that He doesn't create things like we do. We make things like statue with our hand. We make cars with our hands. No. He says, kun fayakun. He thinks of and that thing happens. If He would have been making things like us, then what would have been different between us and Him? He thinks that it should happen, and the process starts and it happens. It goes through the process. Inshallah, next lecture we'll have about discipline. Why is discipline necessary among us to move forward, to gain something, to become a good human being? Why are we not allowed to be free, totally free? Remind me about this.
I'll drop your text.
Freedom and discipline. Freedom and discipline. Yes.
Do we believe in dinosaurs, or is that something which is...
Dinosaur.
Yeah, because what I'm thinking of is, obviously, when we go to work or when we approach in school, people will be arguing science, but we'll be arguing religion. So obviously, we've been taught in our schools about dinosaurs and whatever, but I can't remember reading anything or any talks about dinosaurs, because they were part of
It can be
evolution.
animals. It could have been animals. There were too many
They
of
become
animals. Thousands,
extinct, so they weren't, we don't
thousands of species like human being have been created before us. thousands of species have been created like human being. Adam was one of them. World will come to an end and there will be another creation. Why? If a creator doesn't create, it is a deficiency. An artist doesn't draw, is a deficiency. An alim doesn't speak out his knowledge, is a deficiency. So Allah is a creator, He should create. And the creating process is a continuous process. And we are not going to vanish away into nothingness, Inshallah, we'll be there. Hum fiha khalidun, Quran says, they will live there forever and ever. But the one who understands this world, in Jannah, there will be Hur. The beauty of Hur is described by Allah. Allah says it's beautiful. It's not we say it's beautiful. We consider anything beautiful. Oh, it's so beautiful. A dirty boy with his nose running with, oh, how beautiful your son is. We won't say it. But Allah, when says beautiful, is something real beauty, When Allah is saying something beauty, it must have a very, very vast level of beauty in it. So if a sinful person goes there, he'll shatter the discipline of Jannah, So he doesn't deserve to be there. He'll just be making tea for the people in Jannah, because there is no fire in Jannah, so the tea is coming from hell. He'll make tea there, and from under the door he'll say, this is the tea for the people of Jannah. It's not real, that was just a joke, okay? Once again, I was unable to bring, there were 2-3 guys who wanted to come from our Hayes area. So next time we have got their own phone numbers, I'll text them. If you can just remind me on next
Tuesday.
Wednesday, Tuesday afternoon, please text.
Is Molana part of the group?
Yeah. Molana's in the group. They sent the link of the book after Zillas. That's Molana, so you can set the number.
But she can message me, who told me?
The group of your
Please text.
WhatsApp.
Yeah.
WhatsApp group, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm there in the group. I proved that I was there. Sent you the book's picture.
Can you stop sending silly messages about Molana's in there, right?
Keep on reading that book. If you find the book, find the time. Spend about half an hour every day on reading. Half an hour.
I didn't put my name on
What's in the house today?
Pizza.
Who brings in the niyaz?
It's a rota.